Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our February 2nd council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Roll call.
Mr. Oja?
Here.
Mr. Menegini?
Here.
Dr. Hayes? Mr. Gottstein? Here. Mr. Ball?
Here. Could I have a motion to excuse Dr. Hayes?
I'll make a motion we excuse Dr. Hayes.
Second.
Motion made by Lee, supported by Chris. Roll call.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Gottstein?
Yes.
Mr. Ball?
Yeah.
Mr. Oja?
Yes. Approval minutes of the regular meeting of January 19th and the special meeting of January 26th. Any additions or corrections? Not, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes of the regular meeting January 19th, 2015, and the special meeting January 26th of 2015.
Second.
Motion made by Lee, supported by Chris. Roll call.
Mr. Gottstein?
Yes.
Mr. Ball?
Yes, Trish, but I'd like to, Jeremy, Mr. Mayor, I realized I wasn't here at the last meeting, but the minutes on 15-23 and 15-24, I wish to, even though I wasn't here, I wish to be, my intention be known.
Okay.
That I'd like to vote a nay on, with Mr. McGinney on 15-23. And I would be against 15-24.
Okay.
With them exceptions, Trish,
With that, what Tricia would have to do is enter it into the minutes for this meeting.
fine.
Just in the minutes section, just put a comment.
Note that.
Yes.
If you would have been at the meeting, you would have voted.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly, Trish. Thank you.
Mr. Ball?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Approval manifest 2015-02 in the amount of $196,561.97. George, welcome back, so I'll let you start.
I'm going to fool you all tonight. I only got one question. Right down on the bottom of the page, really, boiler rebuild, repair, ruptured expansion tank. How old is our system here, Mr. Anderson? Is it 15 years?
Yeah, that would be 2001.
Okay, have these ever been changed before?
No, not the expansion tank for sure.
Was this stuff checked during our last?
We've had trouble with those valves throughout. So that's been a problem before, and during their maintenance, they noticed the valves were having trouble, so we decided to have them changed out when the project was when we had the project. So, but the expansion tank, that was a new one.
Yeah. Also, that mixing of when the hot water coil. Okay, I misread that just as a mixing valve for $350. I thought was just exceptionally high. Okay, I was just wondering, because it seems to me this furnace.
Well, part of our problem was the old condensing boiler, or that particular model condensing boiler. The new boiler that we put in supposedly is rated, or it's taking care of some of those problems. The old cast iron boiler. So
Yeah.
some issues.
Okay, it just, it seems like just a constant headache. That's all I
It
got.
has been,
right now.
yeah.
Chris?
Page 3, under refuse, Wilson Auto Collision, towing fee. I'm assuming that's a towing fee for the garbage truck?
The towing charges?
Yeah.
For the garbage truck? The garbage truck broke down out on US 2 by the movie theater. Rick told me it was something to do with the fuel injectors in the motor, and it had to be towed back in, so.
We've had it since, I'm assuming since repaired and
Yeah,
working.
yeah, it's all repaired.
Is there
now.
an exhaust problem with the
I haven't been told of any exhaust problem.
Just last week when I was picking up garbage by my house, I thought a stock car was driving by, and it was the garbage truck. It was the loudest I ever heard it before. I'm just
Was it
curious.
the old one or the newer one? The blue and yellow one, or was it the white one?
It was yellow, so,
Yeah, that's the old one.
okay.
We bought that as a spare from Kingsford many,
Oh.
many, many years ago.
That would be why then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I had.
One question for general information more than anything, I guess. On page 7, almost down to the bottom, diesel specialists of what? Lift station number 3, station, I don't know, pump labor, $753. Which is pump station number 3 to start with, I guess?
Lift station number
Lift
3
station.
is the one by Fifth Avenue,
Down in the hole there?
down in the hole. Yeah.
Okay, and what was the issue with it? The injector pump went bad. Injected, oh, okay. Okay, that's all I needed. That's all I have.
Yeah, I don't have any questions either, so I'm looking for a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve manifest 2015-02 in the amount of $196,561.97.
Support?
Motion made by Chris, supported by George. Roll call.
Mr. Ball?
Yeah.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Gottstein?
Yes, but abstain from all the GO-TEC entries.
Does anyone from the audience wish to address the council on the minutes manifest or agenda item? If you do, please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. You'll have 5 minutes. Okay. Hearing none, we have 3 things on the agenda this evening. The first is approval, special events application, annual Easter egg hunt. This is something we do every year, and we've got the request in again for, to have the Easter egg hunt on April 4th at Marion Park. Anything else?
I'd just like to make a comment on it. I think these people running this are doing a fantastic job, and every year it gets bigger and bigger.
Hopefully they don't get the snow to hide the eggs like they had last year.
Well, that makes it more challenging.
We also request that if they have to park down by the tennis courts, they go into an area that's soft or try to stay out of the areas. We might have to rope that off, Joe, because last year was quite a mess. They went in there and it was almost like a mud run. It's kind of rough.
Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion that the application for the annual Easter egg hunt be approved for April 4th, 2015 at Marion Park.
Support?
Motion made by Lee, supported by George. Roll call.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Gottstein?
Yes.
Mr. Ball?
Yes.
Next, approval, police department, copier, fax machine purchase request. Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The police chief has given us a request for purchase of a new copy machine back in the police department. The current unit, I can't tell you the age of that unit because it was here before I got here. I did quiz Mary a little bit, and she seems to remember maybe when she first got here that might have been purchased, I don't know. So I'm going to tell you that we've got quite a bit of our money's worth out of that copy machine, but unfortunately right now he's having a lot of trouble getting it repaired, and it's giving him a lot of trouble. So, we reviewed all of our copying needs, because typically we review the main copy machine, fax machine, scanner in the city hall, network machine in the admin, and a lot of times those machines will then move down to different departments because they're less use. But we are in a position where there's no hand-me-downs at this point. So I recommended that he go and research and find a unit that he's comfortable with. What you have before you is something that he's found through OPG and, UP Office Supply. The cost of that machine is $1,054, and he's going to use monies from the gun sale in order to purchase it. So
On the sale of that submachine gun, I realize that's where the money's coming from, but can we have a kind of a running balance on that fund? I'm sure that was kept separate,
Yeah.
and he'll be purchasing other things that he needs as he...
The only thing we've purchased up to now is the leather belts and stuff that was on the last manifest.
Oh, okay, I knew there was something coming out of there that I didn't remember which it was. Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion.
One question, Jeremy, and I don't know, Ray, I was aware that you went over and looked at the stuff over at Gavir. Was there
All of
anything over there?
yeah, we went over there and looked at, see about their copy machines, and all of their copy machines were leased, so
Okay.
they all went back.
Okay, that was,
We were hoping same way.
okay.
I'll make a motion that the police department be approved to purchase a copy machine for a price not to exceed $1,054 from UP office.
Second.
Motion made by Lee, supported by Chris. Roll call.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Gottstein?
Yes.
Mr. Ball?
Yes,
Mr. Oja?
Yes. The last thing on the agenda this evening is the approval of the temporary IT support. The company that we're talking about, at least that's recommended in the report they're going with, is GoTech. GoTech is Mr. Gottstein's company. So for the discussion that we're going to be having on that this evening, Mr. Gottstein will not be representing the council, he'll be representing himself and his company. So he'll be abstaining from voting, and any questions will be as the owner of GoTech, not as a council member. Chris, if you want to kind of let us know, just let us know what you're proposing, and
So I put together a proposal based on Mr. Anderson's kind of requirements that we discussed, and basically on a time and materials basis to keep IT support within the city of Norway, and try to address some of the immediate issues they were having in regards to losing their prior support. I did put together a statement of work that lays out our rate structure and some of the basic services that we'll be providing, along with a non-disclosure agreement, confidentiality agreement between GoTech and the city of Norway. Also, Mr. Anderson asked me to put together a estimate on a network documentation project where we will come in and document all the technology services within the city and put together both a physical and electronic documentation for the city to have, whether they continue services with GoTech or go on to another provider. But basically, it will document all of the network, computers, devices within the city that we have here, licensing, inventories on all the equipment, how things are kind of put together, passwords and whatnot. That was kind of done with the last IT group, but it's been hard to get that information from them. And this project will put everything back into the hands of the city and make it a little bit easier for the next company to come in and work.
hey, where this stems from is, as a city, we've decided we're going to be moving away from our current IT support, our network support of CyberZone. And in moving away from them, this right now, what we're looking for is a temporary IT service, kind of like what we did with the attorney, to fill the gap till we can get proposals out for bid, till we can get bids on permanently providing it. So that's what this is. That's what Mr. Gottstein was asked to produce for us.
And Jeremy, can you explain why we're moving away from IT and we're going with GoTech?
We've had some issues with them, with CyberZone being able to get a hold of them in a timely manner, having them respond to us in a timely manner. And if the computer network goes down or problems happen in City Hall or at any of the departments, we need to be able to get them up and running now, not when they feel like getting back to us.
Bottom line is we haven't get the service, we're not getting the service that we paid for.
Correct. And
Okay,
we've
I just
sent
want to
them-
make that clear.
As per our contract, we've sent them the 60-day notice that we intend to leave. I know, George, because with your knee, you've missed a few of the special meetings that we've discussed this. Is there any questions? Do you have any comments you'd like to add?
Not really, Jeremy. Ever since I've known Chris, really and truthfully, I have a lot of hopes in Chris. I always lean towards Chris as using his advice. And to me, Chris has always been a straight shooter, and he's done well for the city of Norway, both as a council, on the council serving us, and you know, whatever. But I would ask Joe or Mary or yourself or even Mr. Anderson, if there is something that should be discussed, whether it include Chris or not, whether it's for Chris or against him, that the rest of the council should be informed of it. I mean, if there's something going on that Chris isn't aware of or is aware of, and I hope everybody keeps personal feelings out of this thing. Everybody in here should be with the best interests of the city. And that's the way I think, I feel Chris would treat us, and I think that we should treat Chris the same way. So with that being said, Jeremy, you know, I have no idea what Chris's knowledge is. And same way, I don't have any idea, you know, what your background and knowledge is, how far deep you are, or can go and ask you. Truthfully, I have none, and I'm afraid to admit it. So I mean, you know, when I talk or discuss anything with anybody, all I can look back and look around the room and say, hey, who in here can I trust and believe to their, you know, and to the best interest of the city. And that's the way I feel. That's the way I feel about Chris, and I hope everybody else does.
We just wanted to make sure it's transparent, everything we're doing here, because we're looking at contracting even short-term with a council member. We wanted to make sure everything is transparent so everybody knows what's going on. Chris's company is in town. They know they can do this work. And in the short term, this is where we're going to go with. We're going to be putting it out for bids, and GoTech will, of course, be able to bid on the permanent replacement like Mount Solello did with Grant, once we get that far. But just, we need somebody right now. And Chris is, in my opinion, the best option right now. His company is the best option right now, short term. And then we'll see long term what the bids come in.
And it's probably best for everybody, for Chris's information, you know, how deep he wants to get involved in this thing, and like everybody else here. And, you know, Jimmy, Ralph, Joe, and, you know, how far, okay, what is their knowledge? Are we going to have a clashing here going on? Or are we going to have a smooth operation that's going to be best for everybody? And, you know, until them times come and they work together, you ain't going to find out. Nobody is.
Lee, do you have anything?
No, I just wanted to make sure we were transparent about it. That's why I asked you why we were moving away from our current contract.
Ray, is there anything?
No, I think support, timeliness of support, and obviously, you know, we've communicated over a number of years even that Chris has been, have his business here, that, so we have a comfort level that he'd be able to support his business, be able to support us, and on a much more timely manner, especially what we've gone through over the last couple months. So that's why we recommended, you know, considering the change and, you know, how we want, you know, had the conversation how we wanted to move forward.
Any other questions or comments?
Just one more comment. All this was discussed at that last special meeting that we had.
Right. I just wanted to bring it out again, just to make sure for the public. Okay. Chris, is there anything else you'd like to add as GoTech representative?
Just to George's comment and to Lee's, that the transparency, there won't be any conflicts between myself, being a council member, and providing support to the city. And any issues that do come up will be brought forward to the council and we'll keep it as transparent as possible. I'm just looking to help the city out right now, and hopefully in the future we can do more business.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm looking for a motion.
Really and truthfully, Jeremy, I mean, to me, this is putting another man on our team for Norway, basically.
Right, well, and I agree.
mean, putting another representative here, it should take a lot of load off of Ray and Joe and Jimmy and Ralph to, get all their heads together here and work these problems out. And I think, basically, everybody should come away a lot smarter and a lot better.
I agree.
Really.
I'll make the motion that GoTech be authorized to provide temporary IT support service to the city of Norway on a time and material basis as outlined in their proposed date, 1/30/15, as well as a fixed price of not to exceed $400 for network documentation.
I'll support.
Motion made by Lee, supported by myself, or supported by George, sorry. Roll call.
Mr. Gottstein?
Abstain.
Mr. Ball?
Yes.
Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
That's our business this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Does anyone from the audience wish to address the council on anything? Okay,
Jeremy, can I ask one question on this last outfit here with GoTech? Right down the bottom, not to exceed the $400. Is there any perimeter on top level, any amount of money on the top end that would be discussed if we get involved in these projects?
well, in talking with Chris, the plan is on a project, he'll bid the project. He'll give us a bid sheet, quote sheet like this, like we got in the packet tonight for the project. So each one, basically what the agreement was for is if they have a network problem, they'll call him in, call Chris or his company in, and then it's that much per hour to work on that problem.
Okay.
It'd be ongoing support for the city, and then if there's a
So,
special.
Right now, there's no top end, but like you said, if there's a special project, it'll be its own
Yeah,
separate.
that's what I was wondering, just as, not to exceed $400.
Yeah, we're gonna, under the regular contract, it'll look a lot like what we did in going out for our attorney support. And we're gonna have a proposal which has the language in it for regular maintenance, regular support, that will, they'll put those boundaries, on your question, basically answers your question. On a short term, though, we just need to have somebody available,
Yeah.
to work on these issues.
Okay, audience had no questions or comments. Lee?
No, I have nothing.
Chris?
Nothing tonight?
George?
I've just got a couple. Joe, any problems with water freeze up yet?
I didn't, you weren't real clear on that last
Any
statement.
problems with water freezing up yet?
We've had 2 services that we've thawed. Other than that, no. Everything's been well.
Looks fairly
Yeah.
good.
We're getting through the winter way different than last year, which is a good
I
thing.
think we got a good snow cover, which helped.
Yeah, there's no frost in the yards where the snow is. It's all in the road. So that would be the only place that it would freeze, would be from the main to the edge of the road.
Our temperatures haven't sustained at such a low level that it was last year.
Yeah.
Remember, we got it early and then it stayed. I think that's what drove it down. This year, it's been down there, but it's popped back up, so we're under normal winter.
Good, that's good to hear. I just got a couple other items on the special meeting, on some of your discussions here, Jeremy, on that North Alert ambulance. I read through the minutes of the meeting again, and I hate to keep hounding you on these situations, but I think all this stuff has got to be brought out there and brought forward on a lot of this stuff. I noticed in the minutes here of the last meeting that the rates are being raised. Matter of fact, they're almost be doubled on part of it, from $3.25 an hour going up to 11 something or 8 something. I can find it in here. And again, you know, for all the stuff that's going on and all for a department that's supposed to be so solvent and have all this money, why are we making all these other adjustments? I guess it's
The
kind of-
run rate increase
Yes.
was recommended by our, the billing people that we work with. That's what they're seeing as the typical run rate now, so they recommended that we bump ours up to match what others are running at.
But, I mean, even though they recommended, do we have to do all these things? I mean, it was recommended that we drop the rates here too a number of years ago, and we didn't do it.
Well,
I
I'm
mean,
just,
these are my concerns that should have been looked at and addressed way before, ahead of time, before we bought land and made some of these moves that we did. I just want to make sure that everybody is aware on some of the stuff that's going on here, way ahead of time.
yeah, the run rate was from 325 to 350.
50, I got it right here in front of you, and I wrote it down someplace. That's about the only thing else, yeah, that I have.
And well, and just with North Alert, because you had comment on the minutes too. The letter that we had, that we approved at the special meeting was to say the city was aware of North Alert applying for grant funding or getting their own building and supportive of it. And they had
But
to-
I asked, that's
they-
what
they had to
I
have-
wanted clarified, just so that there wasn't just one member on this council that was for or against it. That's why I asked for clarification.
I know.
That there was 2 out of the 3 members that are disapproved with it.
They had to have that. The reason we pushed it forward like we did, and I'm bringing it up now so the public can hear that we did send a letter supporting it, was they had to have a letter of support from all the municipalities involved to apply for the grant, apply for grant funding.
That's it.
I don't have anything. Joe, we got
I'll
any
just,
hydro updates?
yeah, I'll just give you a quick update on the turbine removal of unit number 1 at the hydro. C.R. Myers started working last Wednesday. They're working 10-hour days. 2 of the runners have been removed, which is the 2 easiest ones. The other 2 runners, I expect one to be out by the end of this week, and then it'll take roughly another 3 to 4 days to get the other one out. Then we'll have our hands on all 4 runners, and those runners are gonna get dye tested for all the cracks and documented, and pictures taken. And I gave Tricia all the information today to supply the insurance company with all the information that I have to date. We've spent now just on labor. We're at $22,182 to get the 2 runners out.
Has the metallurgist been up to look at it yet? or
No,
is he
we're
supposed to-
expecting him on Friday now. Yep, he'll be in on Friday to take a
We want
look
to
at it.
maximize the time that he spends up here by having one of his runners out.
Yeah.
If we can get all 4.
That's
I don't
what-
think we're
yeah.
gonna have 4 one.
I don't think we'll have the 4th one, but we'll have 3 of them out, so.
Joe, I don't mean to sound dirty or play by dirty rules or anything, but the information that we get out of this study, can we withhold that within the city, and that information doesn't have to get out into the field if we ever find a problem that would cause this?
I don't, because we're a public entity, Ray would be more accustomed to answering that question.
Here's my reasoning, Ray. I mean, this unit that we got down there is one of a kind. Nobody else in the world's got a unit built like ours. The information that we find out, including the people that built this thing for us, I mean, know everything that was in here. If we've got a problem, and all of a sudden it costs us all this money to get all these, what caused this, why this happened, why that's happened, and we go out the street and somebody across the street and come in and say, well, no, we don't have to worry about nothing, they're finding the problem out for us over there. My question to you, Mr. Carlson, and anybody else, do we have to let this information out?
Well, the unit is patented unit. But I guess my
Ray?
answer without,
I'm not asking for a question, I mean for an answer. I'm asking this for Mr. Carlson and everybody else to be aware of, is
Okay.
there any possible things that we could do?
I just want you to think about this though, as we go along. Number one is, we have no idea
Right, I
what
understand.
causes. Number two is that every single unit, every single plant is unique. So there may be some similarities, even if we went and pulled information, documentation on other units. You're not going to be able to make it exactly the same as what we have, because whether it's draft tube configurations, whether it's pit configuration, it is all so unique. So
Right.
I'm not sure if withholding, even if we did put the information out, I'm not sure how much benefit, that's going to give someone else. But, we are a public entity, but we do have some protections, depending on, your industry, secrets type of thing. So I mean, it's something definitely that would fall on Grant, but, it's a complicated question. And it's a good thought, but it's a complicated question.
I think, Joe, that during our conversation, even going back 5-6 years, part of this, didn't you feel was because of the draft tube, that Vortex that was created in the water, circling, going down through that tube?
Those are all questions that need to be
Put a
asked.
shield in there, and
Yeah.
that stopped that circulating, so that, we felt that was the problem, part of the problem, not part,
Well, it
at
could
that
be,
time.
it could be a problem with cavitation, but cavitation isn't what caused this problem. Cavitation just deteriorates the metal, and pits it. There's very little sign of cavitation problem on the runners. They're very nice, yet the paint's wore off, but other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
there's no cavitation issues. We don't know yet. We just don't know. And until we do all the due diligence and investigating and talking to other hydro people and get things tested, we just won't know. So that's all to come yet.
Well, it's gonna be a dirty shame if we don't find some problem. I mean, you put
Yeah.
the machine back together without any knowledge whatsoever of what caused it, I mean, then, now, instead of having a small problem, now we got a huge problem.
It is not our intention to put it back in
No,
without,
I
I know,
realize that.
I'm just clarifying that. It's not our intention to put it back in without knowing why it happened and fixing that problem.
That's all I have about Jerry.
Joe, anything else?
No, that's
Barry?
all.
Tricia? Grant? Ray?
I have nothing tonight.
Okay, with that, we need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Support.
Motion made by Chris, supported by George. Roll call.
Mr. Ball? Mr. Ball? Mr. Oja?
Yes.
Mr. Menegini?
Yes.
Mr. Gottstein?
Yes.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.